Welcome to BNEWS Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher along with BNEWS Director Rich Hosford, BNEWS reporters Robert Paris and John Vias, Peter Brown with the weather, Maddie Shipka with community calendar, and Liz Gillespie with sports. Thank you for joining us. State health officials say another Middlesex County man has been diagnosed with the mosquito-borne illness West Nile virus, marking the third case in the state and the second in the county this year. The man, who is in his 60s, reportedly contracted the disease after being exposed to the virus in September. Public Health Commissioner Monica Burrell said in a statement that her agency is emphasizing the need for people to protect themselves from mosquito bites, and although mosquito populations are now declining, some risk will continue until the first hard frost. According to the National Weather Service, temperatures will stay above freezing until at least next Thursday, the last day projected in the forecast at this time. As reported on BNews, another man in his 60s was diagnosed with the West Nile virus in Middlesex County in September. The third case in the state in 2019 was a man in his 50s in Plymouth County. In 2018, there were 49 human cases of the disease in Massachusetts. Health officials say people should take precautions to reduce the risk of mosquito bites. This includes avoiding, if possible, being outside without protection during the hours of dusk to dawn. They also advise wearing long-sleeve clothing and bug spray. DEET is one of the best, of course. To reduce the mosquito population near your home, they advise draining standing water and installing or repairing screens over windows and doors. The town of Burlington, through its state representative, is set to petition the state for $1 million to fix sidewalks and fill in gaps on sidewalks on Cambridge Street. On Monday night, the Board of Selectmen voted 4-0 to have the town administrator's office send a letter of support for the petition of the funds. The vote was taken at the request of Steve Moran of the Sidewalk Study Committee, who had spoken to State Rep Ken Gordon about the possibility of acquiring state funds to help with sidewalk repairs. Steve was also the vice chairman of the Ways and Means Committee. Moran said he and other members of the committee and volunteers had walked the length of Cambridge Street both to check on the condition of the sidewalks and to speak to residents and businesses about their concerns about the integrity of the road sidewalks. They also asked residents throughout the town to weigh in with their thoughts on the town's sidewalks and were told Cambridge Street is a top priority. Moran said that along with areas of deterioration of the sidewalks on Cambridge Street, there are also gaps in the walkways that make it difficult to traverse the length of the road. Double telephone poles also are an impediment to people trying to walk down Cambridge Street. These obstacles, Moran said, are especially difficult for people with mobility issues as well as for the snowblower that does the sidewalks. Gordon, who was also at the meeting for a different agenda item, also mentioned the petition to Mass DOT and said he was ready and willing to go for the full $1 million. He suggested it may be possible the state would come back with a lesser amount, that it was worth asking for the full amount at this point. Members of the board said they were happy to support the request and praised the Sidewalk Study Committee for their hard work. Department of Public Works Director John Sanchez said that while $1 million wouldn't cover the entire expanse of Cambridge Street, it would be sufficient to do some repairs to some sections. He added that some parts of the street have recently been refurbished and wouldn't need additional work at this time. The process to have Burlington join the MWRA Water Resources Authority is a lengthy and ongoing matter. The Department of Public Works Sanchez gave an update on the progress his department has made to get the town connected to the water supply. In May of 2018, town meeting voted to allow the town to pay the $4.6 million fee to join the MWRA and an additional $700,000 to install a water main to Adams Street to connect the Burlington and Lexington systems. This initial connection, deemed Phase 1, will give the town short-term redundancy in the system as it installs an automated sludge removal system at the Mill Pond Reservoir and a backup for any emergencies. That's why we have a water ban right now. Sanchez said that since that time, the town received a legislative approval from the state to join, and that Governor Charlie Baker signed the bill allowing the connection. What is taking longer is the permitting process, Sanchez said. He said they're a couple of weeks away from the draft of the environmental impact review, and they are planning on submitting it in about a month. He said he hopes the permits will be completed and the town will be given the green light in the summer of 2020. At that point, the town will have to install a pipe to connect through Lexington, which he says they are planning to do before the end of the construction season next year. That will allow the town to get water from the MWRA through Lexington without declaring a state of emergency, which comes, as you know, with a mandatory watering ban. Long-term, town leaders are seeking another vote to build an exclusive connection to the MWRA system that the town can use to supplement its water supply. The second phase, scheduled to be introduced in FY22, will be to create a larger exclusive connection and decommission the Vinebrook treatment plant entirely. The town would maintain the Mill Pond Reservoir as its primary source of water and use the MWRA water as needed to meet demand. The Burlington Fire Department held their 2019 open house at the new fire station. BNews reporter John Vias was there with volunteers Jack Carey and Stephen Noonan and has this report.
The Burlington Fire Department held their first open house at the recently opened Fire Station 2 on Sunday, October 6th, giving kids and adults alike a chance to chat with some of the town's firefighters, climbing aboard a fire truck, and learning fire safety tips, along with a demonstration on their Jaws of Life rescue tools. Pizza, snacks, and water were donated by Papagino's and Wegmans for the occasion. Here are some highlights from the event, with BCAT's video voyagers Jack Carey and Stephen Noonan.
So what are we waiting for? Let's go!
We have a couple things going on today. Hit the water target with the hose, which a lot of kids enjoy. We also have a lot of handouts. We're going to set up the tower truck later, and we also will be cutting up a vehicle over here with the Jaws of Life and showing people how that works.
There's a lot of chances that we see high-speed collisions at highway speeds, and those can cause some pretty severe, impactful collisions on vehicles. What we showed a demonstration of here today was if someone was entrapped in the vehicle and we had to extricate them by use of Jaws of Life and the cutters that we have on the trucks. These are hydraulic pieces of equipment. They're extremely powerful, very heavy pieces of equipment that are able to kind of cut and move metal very, very easily, which is important for us to be able to do in a very short period of time if someone were to have life-threatening injuries in a crash such as this.
It's always a great way for us to get into the community and actually have people ask us questions, come by and see what we do and see our vehicles. Some of the vehicles here are in service and they are on duty. So if anything were to happen, they'd be called away and we'd still have enough guys here to man what we're doing today. We do get a lot of support at this time of year for our open house.
Catch full coverage of the 2019 Fire Station Open House, coming soon to BCAT. From the new Fire Station 2 on Terrace Hall, along with Jack Carey and Stephen Noonan, I'm John Vias for BNews Weekly.
Kate Boucher, General Manager of the Burlington AMC Movie Theater, was before the Board of Selectmen to propose relaxing the conditions of AMC's alcohol compliance agreement. As it stands, one of the conditions of AMC having a liquor license is that an alcohol compliance monitor be present in the auditoriums to make sure alcoholic beverages aren't being passed off to other people. Boucher said they wanted to adjust the responsibilities of this position, specifically the condition that states this person is not allowed to take on any other responsibilities. She said they are gearing up for a slow year in the movie theater business, and having this person only able to monitor when there are very few, if anyone, having a drink is a financial burden. She asked that from Monday to Thursday, the monitor be able to do other things like cleaning the theaters. Board of Selectmen Chair Joseph Morandi said that he and fellow board member Bob Hogan spoke with Burlington Chief Michael Kent on the matter, and the chief is in favor of the alcohol compliance monitor still monitoring, but being able to do other jobs Monday through Thursday on a trial basis. With that recommendation, the rest of the board agreed to change the policy for 90 days. At the end of the 3-month trial basis, the board will consider making the change in the policy permanent. A dedicated planning department employee has been given a promotion. Assistant planner Elizabeth Bonaventure was appointed to the position of senior planner during the planning board's October 3rd meeting. Bonaventure will replace former senior planner Josh Morris, who recently left for a new position in another town. The promotion was at the recommendation of Planning Director Kristen Kasner, who said that since coming on board in 2015, Bonventure has been an invaluable employee for the department and the town. Kasner said she has been instrumental in getting the town's zoning bylaws up to date, online, and updating the town's zoning maps, something that hasn't been tackled in decades. She has also been a key part of getting the department's new online application system up and running. Here is Kristen praising the department's employee.
So overall, I think she's grown tremendously since she's taken the position, and she has a lot of institutional knowledge with everyone in Burlington. And she has been a remarkably quick study of the tasks of the senior planner and has already assumed many of the day-to-day application processing responsibilities with ease. So with that, I strongly endorse Liz as the candidate for senior planner and recommend she begin at grade 12, step 5. And her visionary planning skills, organization, and ability to think out of the box will be a tremendous asset to the planning department, and I hope that we will be able to retain her skill set for many years to come.
Planning Board Chair Barbara LaRue said she agreed that Bonventure was a great fit for the position and that she is hardworking and has the respect of both the town department and the business community. Bonventure, who has a master's degree in planning from Tufts University, thanked the board first for bringing her on as an assistant planner and now for the new opportunity to be senior planner. The Salem-based chocolatier Harbor Sweets has been making chocolates since 1973. Now they are bringing their treats to the Burlington Mall. BNEWS reporter Robert Paris was at the store's ribbon-cutting ceremony and files this report.
One of Salem's finest chocolate shops has made a trip to Burlington. On Friday, October 4th, Harbor Sweets held a grand opening to their newest store at the Burlington Mall.
Well, there's so much business at this location at the intersection of 93 and 128, and this is a great mall. It's some wonderful stores, so we were excited to move to this and expand our territory a little bit. Our first store was in Peabody at the North Shore Mall, and that was successful, so we thought we'd take a little further leap outside of our local area, and so here we are in Burlington.
Harbor Sweets cannot wait to enjoy their time with the people of Burlington.
We really wanted an introduction to the Burlington area and to meet the local businesses and people. We do a lot of corporate gifts, and we felt it would be important to reach out to the local businesses. So we thought the perfect way to do that was to join the Burlington Chamber of Commerce.
As the shop hits high gear, businesses around the area cannot wait to try their handmade chocolates.
Well, what we do is we sell happiness, and we bring families together and friends together and show people that you care. I mean, our chocolates provide a very special gift. There's an emotional connection. We're a local business employing local people, and so we want people to be able to show their friends and their business associates that they really care about them with something special.
Well, Burlington Mall is an iconic shopping center. We're really the premier shopping center northwest of Boston, and if you ask me, really in all of Massachusetts. But I think they wanted to come here just because of what we're doing with the expansion and the fact that they're going to be surrounded by so many other great stores.
Well, I think like a lot of people, they've figured out that there's a great population here that's shopping. It's a retail mecca. The area is populated not only by residents but by the daytime population. And Harbor Sweets has said this is a place where they want to be as well and enjoy the success of the area.
From Harbor Sweets at the Burlington Mall, I'm Robert Paris for BNEWS Weekly.
The Burlington Historical Museum will soon be easier to find. A new a new sign for the museum was given the green light to be put up by the Board of Selectmen. Historical Commission members Peter Coppola and Joyce Fay were at Monday night's meeting to present the new sign to the board and seek permission to have it placed on a pine tree on the museum property. Coppola said one big issue the museum has is that while people are familiar with the building itself, not everyone knows it is home to the museum. The board voted favorably for installing the sign. Coppola said it would take about 30 feet back from the road, and will be angled in such a way as to be visible from both Cambridge Street and Bedford Street. He also said they do not plan to illuminate it at this time. One of Burlington's largest developers has announced that it has purchased with a Boston-based partner a property in Burlington. Nordblum Company, in partnership with Alcyon Ventures, has announced their acquisition of 60 Blanchard Road from Jam Holdings Incorporated for $6.4 million. The purchase includes a single-story commercial flex building totaling 50,000 square feet on 7 acres of land. Some of that land surrounding the building is wetland and is not developable. A representative of Nordblum said the property affords a terrific opportunity to reinvigorate an owner-occupied asset in a strong market location that has visibility from Route 128. He added the building lends itself well to a variety of user types, including R&D office and lab tenants. The building includes 650 feet of Route 128 frontage and has easy access to Route 3 and 128, if there's such a thing. The property received special permits for a 4-story, 84,500 square feet of new office construction from the Burlington Planning Board in 2016 when it was still owned by Jam Holdings. The building is currently the home of Datacon and has been for many years. In our series, Who Works for Burlington, we'll talk to town employees not often in the spotlight. Up this time is Burlington Public Library's head reference librarian, Donna Manoogian. Let's take a look.
In our quest to bring you the stories of town employees you may not see or hear from often, we present the next installment of Who Works for Burlington. This time up, it's Burlington Public Library's head reference librarian, Donna Manoogian. Donna's been with the library for over 16 years. Being a librarian was a second career for her. She came to it after working for 20 years in a hospital laboratory. Before making the switch, she did what a good future reference librarian would do, research.
I decided to make a career change. I thought it looked like something I would like to do, and so I would go to libraries and ask the reference librarians if they liked their job, and they all said, I love my job. So I thought that was a pretty good reason. So I just kind of went to library school, and I do love my job, and I love the community. Burlington's a really nice place to work. It's a very nice library.
When she first started, she said she was a little nervous about working with the public, but soon came to find the residents of Burlington to be friendly and appreciative of her help.
Very friendly, very nice town. Meet all kinds of people looking for all kinds of things. Sometimes, I remember the first time I sat at the reference desk, it was a little intimidating. I thought, people can ask me anything about anything. It's a little, but people are very nice. I mean, you want to give them not just an answer to a question, you want to give them the right answer, but yes, people are very appreciative for everything that we do.
So what does a reference librarian do on a typical day?
So when you look at a library, everything in here pretty much is through the work of a librarian. All the books on the shelf, we purchase the books, we read about the books, reviews of books, and choose different things. And videos, the music, databases, we choose those as well. We help people with the computers.
While access to resources like the internet make finding information for people easier, those same sources can bring their own problems.
The challenge now is that there's so much information out there, and it's difficult to tell what's good information and what's not. And that's a part of our job, to kind of educate people about that and find the good stuff.
One thing that makes working at the library interesting, Donna says, is that it is ever evolving to meet the needs of the community.
The library is a very exciting place to work right now, I believe, because it's in transition. We try and find out what people, their vision of the library, and we try to bring that to life. We try to give people what they want, really, and it's a changing place. People meet here. It's not just a place for books. it can be whatever, it has an exciting future, I believe.
So now you know who works for Burlington. We'll be back soon with another edition, so stay tuned.
We go now to BNews weatherman Peter Brown in our weather center for the latest forecast. We'll also check out the community calendar with Maddie Shipka to see what's happening in Burlington.
Well, hello everyone, and this is Peter Brown with a look at your weather for the next 7 days, and I hope everybody in the Burlington area survived the nor'easter to end all nor'easters. At least that seemed to be what it sounded like if you were listening to any of the weather forecasters in the Boston market. Probably a lot of you are saying today, what storm? We just had maybe a little bit of breeze and a couple of sprinkles here and there, so definitely didn't turn out to be anything we really had to worry about. And starting out our period, starting out Friday, I know it's hard to believe we're already into the middle of October. So we are actually halfway through meteorological fall. I know we're not even going to get into what the next season is. We know it's ahead of us, so we won't even mention the 6-letter word. And as we start our period, though, we're going to be starting out where we should be at this time of the year. So, of course, a little bit chilly out there now getting into the middle of October, but still not too bad, mid-60s. And if you're going out and about and around the Burlington area on Friday evening into early Saturday morning, temperature is going to be around 50, so a little bit warmer than it should be at the time of the year, but still pretty nice. Not too bad out there. Don't need that heavy, heavy winter jacket yet. Unfortunately, though, we are going to be well away from the record highs that we can still see in the 80s at this time of the year in October. As we round out our period, getting towards the end of the third week of October here, we get to see our average highs dipping down into the low 60s, and that's pretty much what we're going to be on par for the next 7 days. Very average temperatures, and of course, as you notice, the days keep getting shorter and shorter as we head through October. Now, as we go ahead, let's look at a little bit about what we're expecting in terms of temperatures and precipitation for the next 7 days in the Burlington area. And looking at this map from the Climate Prediction Center up here in the Burlington area, actually looks like it's going to be fairly average. So not too wet, not too dry, so going to be fairly pleasant. We know that getting into this time in the fall, we can get some pretty good storms. Thank heavens the last one didn't pan out to be quite as bad as they thought. As we go ahead, let's take a look at what we're expecting for temperatures coming up for the next 7 days. And this is going to be something, look at this again, really something that we have seen a lot of actually going back to the late spring. We're expecting maybe average, maybe some slightly above average temperatures. Looking ahead at that, I think it's going to be maybe a little bit on the average to cooler side here as we go into the next 7 days. But if you are anywhere east of the Appalachian chain, it is going to be very chilly. And if you're in the Midwest, very snowy. But don't worry about that. That's not heading towards the Burlington area. As we go ahead, let's take a look at what our weather's going to be looking like for the next 7 days. And this is pretty fairly typical for this time in October. We're again starting out our period on Friday with maybe some showers and some breezy conditions left over from that nor'easter that's well off the coast. And again, temperatures 63 may be a little bit too warm. We may be struggling to get out of the upper 50s, but if the sun does poke out a little bit, we might make it up to 63. Now, as we get into the long weekend, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, we're going to see that nor'easter finally departing on Saturday, and we're actually going to see some fairly pleasant conditions coming up. Look at this, temperatures up in the upper 60s, so maybe some really nice weather as we're going out for the long weekend. And as we start out a period on Tuesday going back to work, looks like we're going to have actually fairly nice conditions. Just a couple of fair weather clouds out there, and temperatures, wow, we're looking at high temperature maybe around 70. We may have a warm day coming up on Tuesday. Then we're going to have a little bit of up and down. It's going to get cool again on Wednesday, and this is going to be ahead of what might be another large system coming towards us from the Great Lakes, which we think is probably going to usher in some pretty cool weather when we get past the end of our 10-day period. So everyone, get out there, enjoy the weather, and have a great week.
I'm Maddie Shipka, and this is your Community Calendar. Learn about the stigma regarding mental health. On Tuesday, October 15th from 7 to 8:30 p.m., there will be a presentation called Just Talk About It at the Marshall Simons Middle School. This presentation is an introduction to mental health and how to recognize the warning signs of stress, anxiety, depression, and crisis. Everyone is welcome. For questions, call Carrie Purchase at 270-1781. I know that song! On Wednesday, October 16th from 5 to 9 p.m., Jack's Coal Fired Pizza will be having an event called Music Bingo. Tickets are $20 per person, including the bingo card. There will also be great prizes and raffles. Appetizers will be served. Everyone is welcome, and tickets can be purchased at buytickets.at/BCSF. Put on your Halloween costumes and get ready to eat some candy. On Sunday, October 20th, from 1 to 3 p.m., the Burlington Girl Scouts will be having an event called Trunk or Treat at the Francis Wyman Elementary School. Everyone is welcome. The event is free, but please bring a donation for the Burlington Food Pantry. The rain date for the event is Sunday, October 27th. I'm Maddie Shipka, and this has been your Community Calendar.
There has been a lot of fall sports action in the past week. For the latest Red Devil news, we go to BNEWS sports reporter Liz Gillespie for this week's sports report.
Hey everyone, I'm Liz Gillespie for your weekly sports report. The fall season is well underway at Burlington High School, and some teams are still trying to make the playoff spots. On Friday, October 4th, the boys' varsity soccer team held a home game at the Marshall Simons Middle School as they hosted the Lexington Minutemen. The Red Devils couldn't seal the deal as they were blown out 4-1. The team traveled to Arlington on Monday the 7th to take on the Spy Ponders. Burlington was in a tight game throughout, but in the end, they lost the game 1-0. The boys will be back at home on Thursday afternoon to take on the Belmont Marauders. The Lady Devils soccer team played the Arlington Spy Ponders as well on Monday afternoon. Unfortunately, the team wasn't on their A game as they lost to Arlington. The girls will be traveling to Belmont to take on the Marauders on Thursday afternoon. The girls' volleyball team had a home game against the Lexington Minutemen at BHS on Friday, October 4th. The Lady Devils did get the job done, and with that, they are now qualified for the MIAA playoff tournament. The team traveled to Arlington on Monday afternoon, where they won the game in a shutout of 3-0. The team moves to 11-1 in their conference. The girls will have a home game on Thursday afternoon to take on the Belmont Marauders. The Lady Devils field hockey team traveled to Arlington to take on the Spy Ponders on Friday, October 4th. The varsity and junior varsity teams fell to Arlington. Varsity lost 5-0, while JV lost 4-1. The goal there was made by Addie J. The varsity team hosted the Belmont Marauders on Monday afternoon at BHS. The girls lost to the Marauders 6-2. Goals there were made by Katie Kalina and Raina Paul. The girls got the win against the Everett Crimson Tide on Wednesday afternoon during the senior night. The game ended in a shutout score of 5-0 Red Devils. Goals there were made by Rania Paul, Anna Otis, Morgan Arriga, Jolene Russo, and Katie Kalina. The boys' varsity golf team traveled to Wakefield on Monday to take on the Warriors. The boys won in a close match with a final score of 39-33. We had a chance to talk to Coach Concession and a couple of the captains as well. BNews sports reporter Robert Paris has more.
One BHS team is getting close to the end of their fall season. I went to the Billerica Country Club to catch up with the boys' golf team and find out what has been happening during the season so far.
Kind of a rebuilding year this year. We had 3 pretty elite golfers in the Middlesex League last year that we lost to graduation, so we've struggled, but I think the struggles have been because we're playing a lot of inexperienced younger kids and they're getting better. We've had good leadership. We have 5 seniors, and we've had particularly good leadership from Trevor and Jack. And I think we have a good nucleus of a team coming back next year.
To make the playoffs, the boys will need to beat the remaining opponents on their schedule.
We're starting to pick up, and we're looking forward to the next 3 matches and winning and qualifying for states.
Yeah, these next 3 matches, they're just most important of the season, so we got to step it up and just win out to make states.
Coach Concession is very proud of his seniors and what they have done throughout the season.
The seniors are a great group. There's 5 of them. They keep things light, and they're good golfers. But they've been very good role models for the first-year players and the younger kids. They drive them to the course. They drive their clubs. They make sure their equipment's here, which sometimes is difficult because they get out of school late and they have to be on the tee by 3:30, so it's tough. But they've done a lot of the little things like that, and I think it's a very, very good group, a great group to coach.
Over the past couple of seasons, friendships have been made with each other on the team.
I just like being with my friends, obviously, on the team. It's relaxing, I guess, after school. It's obviously stressful at times, but nothing too crazy, and just fun to get away.
My friends help me because I'm not the best, but they've really helped me improve my shot, and now I'm hitting 300, so.
I'm going to miss everything about it. Golf is one of the sports that you can take a little less seriously and have a lot of fun with your friends, and that's when you play your best. So I'm going to miss playing with my friends the most and just getting together with them.
I've been learning a lot of tips like how to play and whatnot. So yeah, it's been a good learning experience.
Lastly, the Red Devils are looking to finish out this season on a high note.
You know, we've been getting better during the course of the season, and you know, anything can happen, especially with the weather changing and coldness starting and some rain. Anything can happen, and we're hopeful, and hopefully we'll have a strong end of the season.
From the Billerica Country Club, I'm Robert Paris for BNEWS Sports.
The Red Devils are scheduled to play Reading on Thursday afternoon and Billerica on Friday afternoon. The boys and girls cross-country teams traveled up I-95 to take on the Wakefield Warriors. Both of the teams lost to their division rivals on Monday. Although a loss, some players did well at the meet. In second place, junior James Johnson finished at 15 minutes and 17 seconds. For fourth place, senior Ricky Healy finished at 15 minutes and 48 seconds. And at seventh place, sophomore Paul Conti finished with a time of 16 minutes and 16 seconds. You can read the full results at bcattv.org. The boys and girls cross-country teams will be back in action next Tuesday afternoon as they host the Wilmington Wildcats here at BHS. The Red Devil football team took on the Wakefield Warriors on Friday, October 4th at Varsity Field. We have some highlights. Let's check them out.
The Burlington Red Devils were back at home last Friday night as they took on the 1-2 Wakefield Warriors at Varsity Field. Burlington answered quickly as quarterback Kyle Pena found running back John Hurley, who walked right into the end zone. 7-0 Burlington. At first, things were going Burlington's way until Wakefield answered. Running back Tugger Steichman went in for a Warrior touchdown. 7-7. Pena did not have a good day as he threw 3 interceptions in the first, second, and fourth quarter. Pressure's coming, and he's going to...
Great pocket protection, fires. Oh, Hurley on, it's intercepted.
Later in the second quarter, quarterback Wesley Pierre handed it off to running back Aiden Sweeney to give Wakefield the lead. 14-7 Warriors. Now in the fourth quarter, the score was still 14-7, but not for long as Sweeney found another opening for a Wakefield TD. 21-7. Later in the fourth, the Warriors attempted a field goal to put the score up to 24-7. With just a few minutes left, wide receiver Tucker Steichman scored the final touchdown of the game. 30-7 was the final. We had a chance to speak with Coach McKay after the game.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Wakefield played a very physical game. We had a tough time getting things going on offense. Defensively, I thought we played better in the second half. We just got to do a better job finishing the game, got to do a better job of making the big plays in the pass game when we had the opportunity during today's game. We just didn't do that, and that ended up being the difference.
The team will be traveling to Wilmington on Friday night to take on the Wildcats. The Red Devils currently stand at 3-1 in their conference, and the Wildcats are at 1-4. And that's all for your weekly sports report. I'm Liz Gillespie. Back to you guys in the studio.
Another week, another photo to highlight. This week's photo captures the color, fun, and vibrancy of the Festival of Lights. It was sent in by Burlington High junior Maya Pandit and features a dance routine at the recent Diwali celebration at the Town Common. This was the third year the Burlington Indian Americans for Burlington held the event on the Common and invited the whole community to join them in the celebration, and it was a great time for all. Try not to miss it next year. It was a great time. Thank you for the photo, Maya. We'd like to see your photos. They could be of something you see around town, the weather outside your own door, or photos of your family members, friends, and pets, whatever you think is interesting and would like to share. Email your photos to bcat@bcattv.org with the subject line, Photo of the Week. Okay, that's it from the news desk here at BNEWS Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher, along with Rich Hosford, John Villas, Robert Paris, Peter Brown, Maddie Shipka, and Liz Gillespie. Thank you for joining us.